I was happy to see that 70,000 people marched down the street in Seattle. Good for you guys. Nicely done. Good job. No problems. Huge turnout. About 7% of the people that voted in King County for Kamala Harris showed up there. Look at that. Bunch of people. Nice sunny day. If it raining, could have been a different story. But, hey, nothing to do on a Saturday to go. Athena, my mother-in-law, we've turned her on to protest now because she went to one in Salt Lake.
It was wonderful. It was like a big party. We had a great time. No one yelled at us.
Good for her.
And it was just lovely.
Yeah. The no kings. No king. We don't want a king. And then people, this is what democracy looks like. A lot of that yelling, a lot of signs and stuff like that. They marched from Cal Anderson. They went all the way down. I assume they had a permit to block all the streets, right?
Of course.
Okay, fine. And then it was at night when the people that I'm sure were working late into the day, the Antifa folks that probably spend time reading to kids in the hospital that have cancer, or volunteering at some other group, or just working hard trying to find a cure for cancer, or maybe splitting the atom, or trying to find cold fusion. So those are the Antifa folks that work hard all day. So they have to get some sleep, and then they get up, put on their black little outfits, and then run around with their dance belts on and their leg warmers. And they're the ones that throw the rocks at the cops and light stuff on fire, because why not, right? Because it's fun for them, because they don't have a lot of other things going on. We talked to Brandy Cruz earlier, and she was explaining how she was assaulted by somebody spraying wasp spray in her face, and she had made some little comment that, these were sort of probably the kids that got bullied in high school. My father used to call those kids the last picked. You remember you stand around, I don't know if they do this anymore, stand around in a group and you get the two kids who are going to pick the teams, and you catch the baseball bat and you have to put your hand on top of it. You ever done this? You catch the bat, and then the one kid has his hand on the bat, and then the other puts his hand above it, and then you go Eagle Claw.
I didn't know about the Eagle Claw.
Yeah, it's at the top. And then at that point, that person gets first picks.
I got you.
I'll take Joe. And like, I'll take Andrew. And then it's like, you go all the way down the end and they go, okay, you get Nate. Like last pick, you get Nate.
Oh, Nate.
And then Nick's like, oh, okay, I have to be home at 4. I forgot my retainer.
I'll be down there.
Yes. So those are the last picked, or the Antifa kids. And they're not going to fight anybody one-on-one. It's a big group of people, and they punch you and throw stuff at you, and then they run around with their masks on. So they were the ones that caused all the problems. They're the ones that got the stories. Seattle Times, or Seattle police, tweeted something out congratulating everybody for being peaceful. I had a problem with that. It's like the police shouldn't be congratulating people for not breaking the law. It's a low bar, everybody. Thank you for not lighting anything on fire. Like, the police kind of constantly respond to things. Hey, on Tuesday, thanks for not speeding. Hey, on Friday, thanks for not shooting anybody. Come on. 70,000 people should march down the street without anybody being hurt. So there they did it. In Cle Elum, they were out there. They're out in Issaquah. They're protesting everywhere. Had their signs, about 300 people. Probably the only time it got a little weird is when these guys in pickup trucks that had this special switch in their car that they were able to like throw the switch and then hit the gas, and then a big thing of black smoke would pour
Hang on.
stink out the people, and then they drive on. A lot of beeping for the folks on the street corners there in Cle Elum. I went down and just talked to, what's your sign? What do you think? How do you like? What are you here for?
Here's the...
Is that the guy throwing? Yeah, there's that guy. He's all around town. Oh, yeah, he couldn't get enough black smoke to pour up. And then another guy drives by and, here's a bunch of tampons for you. He threw tampons out. And some guy goes, he had to probably pay for those and he's wasting money. I said, no, you get them for free at SeaTac Airport.
That's true.
All right. Do my sound for my fine folks that were out there? Let's see.
Hang on. I gotta play this carefully.
And I was just trying to be, just Joe Reporter on the street. I wasn't, no opinions for anything.
Okay, back me up on this, Andrew. Hang tight.
All right. You want to dump 47?
Yes, I want to dump 47 because I have morals. He obviously doesn't. And I think that it's important that everybody is treated fairly, and that my uterus will...
Well, hold on. Her uterus...
Inundated with that man. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Yeah, good. That's probably
She has like a 75-year-old uterus. What?
To be able to do whatever he wants. He's not going to be persecuted for being disabled. I want my daughter to have all the human rights that she can have. And I think that most of my family are Hispanic, and I would hate the fact that any of them would get arrested. That's just...
Okay, that was pretty much it. Everybody had some like grievance on something like that, but like no one's got anything to do with your uterus and your daughter's civil rights and the kid's autistic. It's like everybody had like their own. It was like everybody had their little bag of complaints, and then they were able to blow the complaint up, thinking, well, Trump is going to somehow stop all this sort of stuff. It's really weird. It's like you give the guy so much power in your head, and then he's living in there rent free. And when people say this is what democracy looks like, yeah, because democracy is the people's feelings. That's what democracy is. But a republic is the source of law. We don't live in a democracy. If we lived in a democracy, well, then we'd have some problems because democracy is majority rule. And the Founding Fathers didn't want a democracy. They said, listen, we'll have a republic. We'll have representation for you rather than, just everybody vote. Then we would never have a voice. The minorities would never have a voice in anything. The minority would be completely squashed on everything. So it's majority rule. So then when they decide we're going to do a republic, you'll have a representation, a constitutional republic, and you'll also have the Bill of Rights. So it's basically we're setting up barriers what the government can't do to you. You have these rights, and the government is not allowed to infringe on those rights. And the majority, this is what democracy looks like. You better hope not, because then the majority would overrun the minority. The minority would never get a chance to say anything. But this is what democracy looks like. So boring.
Meanwhile,
democracy is the notion that the general public knows what it wants and should get it good and hard.
There you go.
There you are. H.L. Meg.